Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I want to share with you my experience over the last 4 months with the iPhone 15 Pro Max as a first time iPhone user. I got it direct at launch at the end of September. I've been using Android phones ever since the Galaxy S2 in 2011. I use Samsung's, HTC, Sony, Huawei, Honor phones. Been an Android guy for the last 12 years. So I was just thinking that I should once try out the iPhone at least. You know, probably also some people who are bugging you, telling you that the iPhones are by far superior. How can you use an Android? My cousin is like this. He always tells me, take an iPhone. It is by far better phone. Everything is smoother, the camera is better, and so on. I have seen videos online where some guy asked some girls, would you date a guy who is a 10 out of a 10? But he has an Android.
He's a 10, but he has an Android phone. What's his new rating?
A 3.
That's a 0.
That's horrible.
It's a 0. Our pictures for Instagram are gonna be terrible.
It's green text and I'm doing blue. I feel like it's a downgrade.
iPhone all the way. Why are you having an Android? Go get your money up. Get out of the house.
If you don't have an iPhone, you're a nerd.
And I'm not doing WhatsApp either.
Are you broke? Like, how can you not afford an Apple? Are you broke? Like, how can you not afford an Apple?
First things first, it is not my first Apple product. I do own a MacBook Pro, but I haven't used an iPhone longer than a minute in my life. I want to share with you some general stuff about the phone, my experience with it, and some stuff which I really liked and which I didn't like, especially in comparison with my Android experience over the last couple of years. There was quite some hype about some features that Apple brought to the iPhone 15 series. First of all, the action button replaced the mute switch. Since I never had an iPhone, I really can't tell how useful that mute switch was, but I read from many people that they missed it. But I think the action button is a great thing because it gives you options, and options are always good. It's always great when you can choose how to use certain features the way you like. And as I found out over the last couple of months, this freedom is not really that common on an iPhone. I tried some different settings with the action button, but in the end I decided the best way to use this is to just map it to the camera, so it is an easy way for me to access the camera at any time. I took well over 3000 pictures and videos with the iPhone. I really use that camera very often. Also for my camera comparisons, which you can check out on my channel. I got a camera comparison with the S23 Ultra, with a Huawei P60 Pro and the Pixel 8 Pro, and a dedicated video comparison with the S23 Ultra and the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 in the mix. All these videos are linked below. Speaking about the camera, the iPhone 15 Pro Max now has a 5x tele-lens, which is an upgrade to the 3x tele-lens of the previous models and to the Pro model. So 5x tele-lens just on the Pro Max. It is actually doing a good job at day and at night. I'm looking forward to compare to the 5x tele-lens which the S24 Ultra will have now. Another camera-centric feature is ProRes lock, which was also a much talked about topic of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. ProRes is a special codec which reduces compression and increases your options to edit and color grade the footage afterwards. It also increases the file size a lot. Be aware that ProRes lock footage looks really washed out at first. That's why you need to color grade it afterwards. I just used Dehancer and DaVinci Resolve and got this out of my ProRes log footage. So now some specifics which I really liked about the iPhone and some which I didn't like. Let's start with my favorite feature, which is Face ID. Yeah, various Android phones also have Face Unlock, but Face ID is on another level. Since the iPhone don't have fingerprint readers, everything is verified by using Face ID. You want to verify something like a login, a bank transaction, or an app purchase. Just a simple glance at the screen and you're good to go. It's really easy, very natural. I actually never missed a fingerprint reader in the last couple of months, and especially in the winter I always have issues with fingerprint readers. First of all, of course, if you're living in an area where it gets really cold, like here in Germany it does sometimes, you probably will wear gloves. So with a glove you of course can't use the fingerprint reader, and I also have the issues that my fingers are getting really rough in the winter, and then sometimes the fingerprint reader fails to read my fingerprint and I have to type in the PIN code. These issues of course are non-existent with Face ID. And it even works while wearing a mask. The biggest plus everybody's talking about why you should get an iPhone is the Apple ecosystem. Just having the MacBook, the iPhone and the Apple Watch Ultra 2, I can already understand how all these three play together. For example, using the Apple Watch Ultra 2, unlock my MacBook after the initial login. Whenever I wake up my MacBook again, it will recognize my watch and automatically unlock the MacBook without me having to using the fingerprint reader on the MacBook or typing in my password. It is really convenient. One other big thing which I really like, it is AirDrop. If you have a lot of files on your phone, like photos, videos or whatever, and don't want to connect it via the USB, or you just want to quickly transfer some files, AirDrop is really a useful feature. It works way better than any solution I used on Android till now. I read about some people online, some other creators who are having issues that they have disconnects very often. I luckily haven't experienced anything like this until now, so I'm maybe on the lucky side. I'm using my MacBook with a monitor, so the fingerprint reader isn't really in front of me all the time, so it is really convenient to have this option with the Apple Watch Ultra 2. Whenever I've seen a camera comparison between an iPhone and any other Android phone, always there was one area where the iPhones were doing better than any other device, and it is video recording. And from my experience, I have to say really it is true. Video recording is really very good on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I was really curious to find it out myself, and I have to admit that the iPhone is really doing a great job at recording videos. Samsung has caught up over the last couple of years with the S23 Ultra is already doing a good job itself, but there are areas where the iPhone just can't be beat. One thing which I felt where the iPhone is just much better than any other phone I have used is the switching of the lenses while zooming. It is a really smooth transition between the lenses. Once again, check out my camera comparisons linked down below. Another point is the premium feel of the phone, which I would say it is of course not exclusive to the iPhone. The S23 Ultra has a very premium feel to it too. There was a lot of talk about the titanium. You can see I have my phone in the case anyway. This is a Caseology Capella which I'm using. The clear case, which still hasn't turned yellow. I'm a big fan of flat screens, so it is a big plus for me because then I can protect it even better with a tempered glass. The software runs really smoothly, but there were some occasions when I had some hiccups with the software, when it didn't run as smoothly as I hoped for. I am not a mobile gamer. I prefer gaming on consoles, so I never really stressed the phone out while gaming. At launch, many people complained about overheating and battery issues. I experienced some of this myself, especially with the battery, which was very bad for the first couple of days. Apple then released a patch which fixed all those problems for me. It never overheated since. Now some stuff I didn't like that much, and first of all comes the keyboard. I've been using mainly SwiftKey on the Android for the last couple of years, so I really like the freedom it gives to you. The standard keyboard on the iPhone is really annoying because if you hold down a button and expect there to be any symbols, you will be disappointed. Of course, some buttons will have the option for some special letters. So if you want to use the dot or the commas, you always have to press in the bottom left corner to get the extra symbols. So I thought just switch over to SwiftKey on the iPhone. It is available in the App Store. So at least I could get the number block here, which is nice. But there's still the issue that I can't put the symbols under the letters. This option is just not available on any keyboard I tested on the iPhone. So the freedom of typing is not as smooth as it is on the Android devices. Like even the same keyboards like Gboard or SwiftKey, which gives you more options on Android devices, are somehow limited on the iPhone. The second would be customization. It is something I already heard before. iPhones won't let you customize as much as Android, and it is really a true statement. You just can't set up your iPhone that freely as I wished. Sorting the apps on the app stream can be annoying, especially since you can't freely place your apps. So for example, you can't leave a gap between apps on the left side or on the right side. The apps will always move on the free spot automatically. You can't change how many rows you have, for example, on the home screen. If you use a Samsung device, for example, there are too many options to customize your phone, which is really nice, and the iPhone is really lacking in this department. Another big thing, which maybe come to a surprise for you, which annoyed me, is I cloud. Backing up your stuff is a really good thing and a very useful thing, but why can't I decide what I want to back up? Like, why can't I just back up my photos if I don't want to back up my videos? I have to manually delete all the stuff if I don't want to have it backed up. I can't just pick the pictures from the camera roll, for example. It will just back up everything on the device. You can't sort by size, which is really annoying. If you're recording big video files, for example, using ProRes log, and you don't want to have them in the cloud, there's really not much you can do about it, except of disabling the upload completely. And if you have a limited storage, like I have the 50 GB storage, for example, it will soon be filled and you will get every time notifications that you should buy more storage to keep your phone backed up. You can disable this entirely by disabling the full iCloud support, but I think there should be more options as to what you want to upload, which specific folder you want to upload from. If you just want to upload photos or documents or whatever. I don't want to upload all my videos. This option just would be fine. But I can understand why they not let you filter easily, like sorting by size and stuff like this, because they simply want you to buy more storage all the time. So after 4 months with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the question is, are iPhones really superior? My answer is no, they are not. For people who have already Apple devices, if they're using EarPods, MacBooks, iPads, or the Apple Watch, of course, it makes sense to get an iPhone because all these devices are seamlessly working together. AirDrop is a great feature. They all just play together very well. I not tested an iPad and an EarPod, so I don't know how well they work together, but my experience with the watch, MacBook and iPhone is really good. But if we were just to compare the phones, like the iPhone compared to an S23 Ultra, for example, both phones are really doing a great job. There are some areas where the one phone is better than the other phone, like the video recording on the iPhone is still the best in class in my eyes. There are many things, if you put them side by side, where you can say, okay, the animations on iPhone are smoother. I actually never felt an issue with the animations on my S23 Ultra, Pixel 8 Pro or Huawei P60 Pro. I also thought they were smooth enough for me. There are people who are then of course putting them side by side and then they use slow motion and to show that it responds in some milliseconds faster than the other one. Then they put out the benchmark score where it is scoring higher in a certain scenario and whatever. It is fine if you want to check every stat that you can find, but for general use, for normal users, all those phones are really great, and I can't really say that an iPhone is just the much better phone or the more reliable phone. I was actually using the S23 Ultra longer last year. From February till September, I had a very smooth experience with the S23 Ultra. I was traveling also a lot with this. The S23 Ultra was just as reliable in that span of time as the iPhone 15 Pro Max was in the last 4 months. I'll be testing the iPhone against the S24 Ultra very soon. You can see if Samsung caught up to the video performance of the iPhone. So what do you think? Are iPhones superior in your opinion? Or are Androids just as good? Drop your thoughts below and let me know which phone do you use this time. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos in the future. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.